Is Shaker Heights, Ohio, the best area to live in Northeast Ohio? Whether you're looking at moving here and relocating or whether you're upsizing, that is the question. In this video, we're going to look at the pros, the cons, the good, the bad in looking at Shaker Heights, Ohio, which is the city that in 2019, niche.com ranked as the 12th best place to live in the country. And as a bonus, at the end of the video, I'm going to share with you not only my opinion, which you'll hear throughout, but you'll also hear opinions from clients and other people that live in Shaker Heights or have lived in Shaker Heights to hear what they say to better determine whether or not Shaker Heights is the right neighborhood for you. That is coming up in this video. Hey, this is Joel Gableman with Gableman Group. Besides being a full-time realtor, I'm also a father and foodie. If this is your first time to living in Northeast Ohio, our focus is on helping families looking to upsize to move to Northeast Ohio or people relocating from other markets, whether it's for work or just being closer to family, and really helping families find the ideal homes, looking at schools, things to do, food, and fun activities. So if that's of interest to you, you are in the right place. If you're thinking of either moving to Northeast Ohio, whether it's upsizing because your family's getting bigger, or you're moving from out of state or out of the country, give us a call. We love hearing from people. We get calls, texts, emails. Our description of the information is below from all over, in some cases, the world. And we love helping people out. Now, let's get into the video if Shaker Heights is the right city for you. So Shaker Heights, Ohio was incorporated in 1912 by the Van Swearingen brothers. These were real estate moguls, and the goal was to create kind of an oasis away from the industrialized Cleveland, Ohio. Back in the early 20th century, Cleveland obviously was going through a large growth. There was a lot of manufacturing, steel mills, etc. And Shaker was developed to have, originally it was actually developed by the Shakers, but the Van Swearingen brothers started buying up large plots of land to have their little oasis. So here is Shaker Heights. Again, one of the main benefits is the vicinity to downtown Cleveland. Shaker Heights buttresses against Beechwood, Ohio. Here's Pepper Pike, University Heights, and then down here is Cleveland. Shaker Heights also, you can see if we scroll down here, so downtown Cleveland is right over here. The nice thing also with Shaker Heights, besides the close vicinity of the many things nice about Shaker Heights, besides the close vicinity to downtown, Shaker Heights also is close to the hospital. There's a lot of people that come to Cleveland. Either they are visiting for medical reasons, or they are physicians if you're relocating here, or if you're going to be in practice here. The Cleveland Clinic, University Hospitals are two of the largest employers. It is a 15-minute or less-ish drive from Shaker over to the main campus. Other nice thing with Shaker is the transit line. The rapid transit line are trains. There's also obviously buses, but you could go and park at the public parking, jump on one of the RTA trains and shoot down to wherever you want. You can get down to Tower City, which Key Tower, you have downtown Tower City Mall, get over to West 25th, Ohio City. You can pop over to the airport. You can go over to the stadium. You can get to Little Italy. Now, Shaker Heights is broken up into technically 9 sub-communities. Each neighborhood is a little different. Each have their own little nuances. If you move here, definitely recommend getting onto Nextdoor. Nextdoor.com is a website where it connects you to other people in your neighborhood. And it's a nice little sub-community. So it gives you a little bit information about the sub-communities of Shaker. Let's get into rankings. So ranking-wise, this is one of my favorite websites, niche.com. I reference this all the time. This is specifically on Shaker Heights, Ohio. Nationally, it was ranked number 57 of the best suburbs to live in America. So math-wise, 1% of 6,785 would be 67.8. Let's be generous and round up to 68. Shaker Heights is in the top 1% of all suburbs to live in America. Best places overall, well, 1% will be 185. So we are clearly in the top, almost half of 1%, best places to live in America, just overall places, not just suburbs. And then you can go and reference the website for Shaker Heights, but it is highly, highly ranked. Not to mention the diversification. You can see relative in Ohio, third best place in Ohio to live, best suburb for professionals, best suburb, one of the best suburbs to raise a family.
and on and on. And again, you can take a look and reference this.
The other benefit of living in Shaker Heights are the tremendous amenities. Not only does Shaker Heights have their own park, they have their own library system, they also have city services such as phenomenal schools and even the trash collectors on garbage day. They will drive up the driveway and pick up the trash rather than you having to take it over to the tree lawn. Maybe a little thing, but frankly, driving down the street where you don't see garbage bags and trash cans on the street from other people putting it in the tree lawn, it makes things pretty nice. Shaker also has a great blend of that urban feel with that suburban feel also. And what I mean by that is you can take walks or bike rides over to coffee shops, over to restaurants, to the florist, wherever you want to go. There are neat little retail centers where you can just go and grab some chocolate, grab some coffee, grab a beer, and even walk home. That's the benefit of living in Shaker.
Shaker Heights is also extremely diverse. According to the 2020 census, approximately 55% of people living in Shaker Heights are white, 36% are black. Additionally, Shaker Heights yields around 42% of the education level of master's degree or higher.
One of the best things about Shaker Heights, especially if you have children, are the schools. So, Shaker schools, if you look at the rankings, might not be the top school ranking system in all of Ohio or certainly all of Cleveland. They're still very highly regarded, but the high school is excellent. And one of the characteristics of the high school is they have an IB program. The International Baccalaureate Program designation at Shaker Heights is so coveted, I have families that specifically choose Shaker Heights for the school system. In fact, Shaker Heights was one of the first school districts in Greater Cleveland and one of only 7 public districts across North America to be recognized as a pre-K through 12 IB Continuum District. I'm going to leave a link below in the description so you can learn more about the IB designation. But that is just one of the many wonderful things that Shaker Heights offers. So let's talk real estate in Shaker. As I mentioned, there are 9 communities in Shaker. There are homes ranging in the 200-ish thousand range all the way up to $3 and $4 million. Last year I sold a $2.7 million home, and they are stunning, gorgeous mansions. At the same time, also sold homes for 3, 5, 700,000 in Shaker, and they are gorgeous homes as well. So the characteristics of Shaker, what makes all these homes beautiful and unique, is they're not these boilerplate builder models. Some of these planned developments, there's 4 models. You pick, do you want model 1, 2, 3, or 4? And they all look the same, which is not a bad thing. It's just a trade-off. The homes in Shaker in general are all unique. In fact, around 75% of all the homes in Shaker could be considered historical homes. Now, the other thing to consider with Shaker in the real estate spectrum is the Shaker Heights point of sale. Now, if you already live in Shaker or you live in an area that has a point of sale, or you're relocating or moving here from out of state, out of the country, point of sale is a requirement by the city in order to have, when the global idea, is to have a uniform set of basic standards for the house. That is a protection of the city. Now, in short, if you want to sell a home in Shaker Heights, you need to contact the city and have an inspection done by the city. This is for the city's protection. If you're buying a home in Shaker Heights, you definitely want to do one of 2 things. You want to examine the point of sale that the seller has ordered and has done, confirm that the seller is providing a clear point of sale, making sure that any issues that were found by the city are all cleared and satisfactory for the city. Or 3, make sure that if you're assuming some of those point of sale items, you know what you're getting into ahead of the game. Point of sale issues could be as easy as having some new smoke detectors put in, GFCIs. It could be more extensive, such as new tuck pointing, driveway, new stairs. The list can be extensive or small, but it's still something you definitely want to be aware of. Now, pro tip, if you're buying a house in Shaker, you definitely want to have your own general inspection also. And typically, 3 inspections I always recommend to buyers, especially with older homes, and I'm going to define that as 20, 30 years or older, are not only a general inspection, but also radon and sewer line scope. So these homes, especially with the big trees, can be older. You definitely want to make sure that you have all your bases covered, because the point of sale is to make sure that the city has their bare baseline criteria met. And the general inspection that the buyer orders is to make sure that your interests are protected. So what cons are there for Shaker Heights? Well, there really aren't a lot of cons. I mean, people can certainly bring up the taxes, which property taxes are one of the highest in the state, around 4%. So a $400,000 home is going to be around $16,000 a year in taxes. Now, there's certainly homestead exemptions if you're older. It's just something to consider. The other cons I brought up to some people is the issue of crime. And the feedback, frankly, is that it is not that big a deal. It's actually extremely safe. So if there is a main issue, it was hard for me to find one. And even though the taxes are high, in general, almost everybody I spoke with, besides people that were empty nesters and didn't have use of the school system, didn't care about the trash collecting, didn't care about the library or any of the other city amenities, in general, they felt that, relatively speaking, for the cost of living, it was well worth the price to pay to be in Shaker Heights. Continuing, I'm going to share with you some additional pros and cons that I've heard from some clients, friends, and family that have lived or currently live in Shaker.
One of the pros people mention is the nature center. This is right in Shaker Heights, and it's a very peaceful retreat. Beautiful mature trees, hiking, biking trails, take the family on walks here. The people of Shaker are just overall very passionate people. They have a lot of pride for the neighborhood and they care. You can see they have recycling bins. They care about each other. They care about their community. And it's a very tight knit group of people. The other wonderful things with Shaker, of course, it's the food. Brassica is in the Van Aken Market Center. It's one of my favorite snack sandwich shops. They make pita from scratch. It's Middle Eastern. They stuff it with tabbouleh and hummus. My buddy Anthony, who owns Lock, Stock, and Brisket, grab a brisket sandwich over there. We are inside the Van Aken Market District right now. They have a pasta place, a pizza place. I'm a huge coffee nerd, and you'll see over there as we come across Rising Star Coffee. You can walk outside across the street to Mitchell's Ice Cream. If it's important, it's kosher, so you can eat all the ice cream you want. If you keep halal or keep kosher, it's great. And if you don't, it's still phenomenal ice cream. Save pastry at Rising Star and pick it up over here at On the Rise. They have delicious pastries. My favorite is the sticky buns with nuts. I also like the chocolate croissants and the scally bread. And the other thing is I've asked what type of person is ideal for Shaker and what is not the ideal person for Shaker. And the feedback I received is somebody who likes a community, who likes beautiful homes, who likes to have the benefits of a suburban feel, of super safe neighborhoods, of being around a nice community is a great fit. Somebody who likes seclusion, who wants pure privacy, who doesn't want neighbors around them, people walking their dogs and being outside and going on biking trails. They just want to be left alone. It's probably not the best community for them.
And that's the wrap up. That is the details on Shaker Heights, Ohio. So you tell me, is Shaker Heights an area that you would like to see? Is it an area that connects with you, your values? Do you love the houses? Do you love the structures? Do you love the neighborhood vibe? Do you love being close to Cleveland? Or is it not for you? Do you want to have more space? Do you want to have newer? There's no right or wrong, but hopefully this gives you a very good feel of what Shaker Heights is like. Stay tuned for additional videos coming up. Consider liking and, of course, subscribing so you get updates of new videos coming out. And I will see you guys soon.